Welcome along to the Jeonbuk Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan for this Group H AFC Champions League match between Tampines Rovers and Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Just 72 hours ago, these sides met and it produced a 9-0 win for Jeonbuk, the third highest record victory in the AFC Champions League era from 2003 onwards. That's how the group looks. Jeonbuk top with 7 points from 3 games. Tampines pointless and goalless at the bottom. One of 6 teams who have been pointless and goalless after 3 games in the AFC Champions League. Lovely conditions here. Temperature just shy of 40 degrees. That will drop a bit as the sun dips down, but it will remain very hot and humid. So regular drinks breaks sure to be on the agenda throughout this game. Here at this ground, which has a 34,000 capacity. It's hosted international games since 2013 onwards, after being opened the year before. First international that was here was 2014 World Cup qualifier between the Uzbeks and Lebanon. And it was packed, of course, won't be tonight for very obvious coronavirus related reasons. These AFC Champions League group stages played in centralised hubs. So there's a double round robin group. Everybody plays everyone twice. 6 games in the group. And if you win your group, you guarantee a spot in the last 16. And then the 3 best second places from the 5 teams that finish second across these 5 East groups that are ongoing will also make it to the round of 16. We already know the 8 West teams who have made it through. Those group stages already played. And we're now in a feast of football across the East groups, which are really kicking in towards the sharp end now. Into match day 4, Jeonbuk have put themselves in a great position in this group. Win today, they'll have 13 points from 4 games. With this lovely venue, which is home to the 5-time Uzbekistan Super League champions, AFC Jeonbuk. And it staged plenty of AFC Champions League drama, this venue, with the Tashkent Giants regulars in this competition between 2012 and 2017. This big old bowl-shaped arena. It's also known as the Mini Stadium or the National Stadium. Both teams are in the tunnel. Kickoff approximately 7 minutes or so away. Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors on the left of your screen, pardon me, as you look at things. On the right side of the tunnel, and they're changed all white strip with green trimmings. And Tampines Rovers, who are nominally the home team tonight, not that it makes really any difference apart from administrative issues, are in their all yellow kit. So Tampines desperate to show that they're better off than what happened 3 days ago here. Complete and utter rout led by Gustavo and Modu Barrow. Gustavo picked up 4 goals, Modu Barrow scored 3. Hussein Day and Stanislav Lyuchenko got the other 2. It was the heaviest AFC Champions League defeat since March 2010. Gives you an idea of the scale of it. You necessarily need that to know. Scoreline 9-0 really does jump out at you. Something of a cricket or a rugby score. It was unsurprisingly Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors' biggest ever win in this competition, beating the 8-0 victory that they managed in April 2010, beating Indonesia Jayapura by that scoreline. Syrian referee Masoud Trufelia is just waiting to lead the teams out. Tampines Rovers in their maiden AFC Champions League campaign, it has not gone as planned. It's ruthless playing on the biggest continental stage, and that's what the Stags from Singapore are finding out. There's probably few things worse in football than losing 9-0 to a team and then having to play them again 3 days later. Remember, this is match day 4 of 6, match day 5 on Wednesday, and then the group concludes on Saturday. So Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors looking to continue their domination of Group H. Made a really good start to this AFC Champions League campaign. 7 points from 3 games. On the left of your screen in the changed all-white strip against Tampines Rovers in all yellow. Tampines from Singapore, desperate to finally make their mark on this AFC Champions League stage. So far, pointless and goalless from their 3 matches. Conceding 12 goals in the process, including those 9 against Jeonbuk just 3 days ago. Can they go better in the rematch? Find out very shortly. They can at least console themselves with the fact that a couple of Jeonbuk's biggest stars who demolished them in that 9-0 win, Gustavo and Modu Barrow, have both been dropped to the bench. Although rested more than dropped really is the appropriate word. And they can come on later on if needed, of course. Still got Stanislav Ilyachenko in shot there. He scored in that 9-0 win and is a superb striker in his own right. Pre-match photos and a mutual round of applause between the teams done. So we can now have a look at how they line up. Tampines Rovers making 4 changes. Mark Rantan, Boris Kapitovic, Avan Shah and Vaihaki Kaizan coming in for Iman Hakim, Madam Wahana, Amino Haikal and Daniel Bennett. Listed as a 4-4-2 there. I expect that to be more of a 4-5-1 with captain Yasir Hanapi dropping deep, Boris Kapitovic being the lone striker. Coin toss between Yasir Hanapi on the left and Cha Young-jun on the right. So pretty much formalities complete. Of course, no fans in the stadium doesn't really make a huge difference which direction both teams will kick in for which half. As for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, well, there's only 3 survivors from the starting 11 that won 9-0 3 days ago. Choi Bo-kyung and Park Jin-song in the defence, and midfielder Kim Bok-kyung. Stanislav Ilyachenko gets a chance to start up front with man who scored 4 goals in that game, Gustavo, on the bench if required. His other benches then, Gustavo and Modu Barrow, very useful trump cards for Jeonbuk to have up their sleeves, and with 5 substitutes allowed, up from 3 until the coronavirus here has somewhat changed football's approach to tactics and fitness, and changes in that regard. It makes the benches all the more important and does give head coaches a bit more tactical flexibility. So those Jeonbuk players, knowing that a win today would take them another big step towards qualification. As for Akbar Nawaz and his Tampines Rovers side, this is going to be a real test of their resolve. They're determined to show that they're a better side than 3 days ago, where they were completely and utterly demolished. Found themselves 3-0 down after 15 minutes. We're into the countdown. Kickoff seconds away. So it finished 9-0 3 days ago to Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Now in the second meeting in this double round robin group format. Tampines Rovers desperate to show that they're better than that scoreline suggested. Still pointless and goalless after 3 match days, Tampines, in their first ever AFC Champions League campaign. Hope they can provide a shock and change that here. Tampines kicking from left to right in all yellow. Here come Jeonbuk immediately from the kickoff, attacking from right to left. Crossing gathered by Sazwan Buhari, who, it's going to sound odd to say, didn't have the worst game despite conceding 9 goals. He really was not protected very well by his defence. He's left very exposed. Wozniak just loses out and then commits a very frustrated foul. Kim Sang-sik in charge of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, who came into this group stage at the back of decent domestic form, second in the K-League, won, were top in mid-April, then did have a bit of a bad run in truth. 3 straight draws, then 3 straight losses, including a 4-2 home defeat against Ulsan Hyundai, who now lead and of course are the defending AFC Champions League winners from last year, where they beat Iranian side Persepolis, I should say, in the final. Sungi is falling kindly to keep the attack going for Kunimoto, who wins the throw. Plenty to think about for Akbar Nawaz, in charge alongside Kevin Lee at Tampines Rovers. Might be a chance for an early effort here. Instead looks wide, Song-young. He tends to be patient. It'll be interesting to see how Jeonbuk adapt to not having Gustavo and Modu Barrow on the pitch. Those two, with Barrow's pace and trickery and Gustavo's devastating finishing, so often the creative hubs of this Jeonbuk side. Jin Song. Hanapi goes back to Buhari. Just can't quite keep it alive. Foul on Boris Kapitovic. Often a star man for Tampines Rovers, Kapitovic. 12 goals in 12 league games, and he gets it right, as he did there. He can make himself a real nuisance for defenders. Forces the foul from Jeonbuk. Kapitovic has cut a frustrated figure in this AFC Champions League campaign. He's had precious little service from his teammates. Only a couple of long-distance efforts across his 3 appearances in the competition thus far. Jeonbuk looking for an early lead, which is exactly what they got 3 days ago. Modu Barrow scored in just the 5th minute, pretty much this exact moment, assisted by Gustavo. It's a good ball forward, needed to be cut out by Seniza. Coming together in the box, and Tampines get a free kick that relieves the pressure on them. Well, already in the very early stages of this game, a similar pattern being established 2-3 days ago. Tampines content to sit back, try and maybe find Very rare counter-attacking opportunities. Try and absorb this pressure from Jeonbuk. Kyung, one of 3 survivors in the starting 11 from that game. Kyung kicks it back, trying to pick the lock, couldn't quite do so. That's nice from Nakamura. Slid it through. It's a good run as well by Kapitovic. And Hwang Byung-gun had to be alert, playing sweep the keeper, coming out of his goal nicely. It's such a big part of the modern game in the way that the role of the goalkeeper has changed. Jin-song. This is neat. Ilyachenko. It's going Ilyachenko. Kyung. Kyung finds Kunimoto in space. Not a bad cross, Kunimoto. Will be kept alive, maybe a touch over here. Song-yoon. Sungi. June. June again. Really patiently worked this from Jeonbuk. Bo Kyung. Jin-song inside for Kunimoto. Just trying to get Tampines chasing shadows and sort of waiting for when a gap will open up, they can exploit. Lovely dummy from Kunimoto, who nearly got the return ball from Ilyachenko. What a goal that would have been. And now it's a frustrated forwards tackle from Ilyachenko that relieves the pressure. Showing what he can do on the link-up play here, and Ilyachenko before the foul. We've had 2 good seasons with K-League 1 rivals Pohang Steelers, and by the perennial champions Jeonbuk. The Russian-born strikers continue to shine at the Jeonju World Cup Stadium, averaging around a goal every 2 games, which is pretty good for a striker. That's sort of numbers you want to be hitting. He's very good at creating chances as well. Maybe they can get Ilyachenko some more service here. Jin-song. There's a decent ball in for Ilyachenko, and the save is forced, and Buhari gathers on the rebound. Did have 2 bites at the cherry, but second was from a very acute angle. That's the threat that Stanislav Ilyachenko offers. This is first ever AFC Champions League campaign. He's already picked up 2 goals. Scored the opener in a 2-2 draw against Canberra Osaka. And realistically, Jeonbuk's biggest opponents in pursuit of winning this group. Flag up against Hanko 1. No video assistant referee, just in case you're wondering, in this AFC Champions League. And I mentioned Canberra Osaka and the group situation, so just to remind you, thus far Canberra have 5 points from 3 games. Shanghai United have 4 points from 3 games, so they're still right in the hunt too. And Jeonbuk have 7 points from their 3 games. Tampines goalless and pointless. Canberra Osaka with 1-1 draw against Shanghai, 2-0 win against Tampines, and then that aforementioned 2-2 draw against Jeonbuk. Kanapi knocks it round the corner. It's the first real spell of possession that Tampines have had, given away by Mehmedovic though. Nicely held up by Ilyachenko, but his pass is errant. We were playing advantage for the foul from Mehmedovic. Just on the note of the wider group situation, worth reminding you that near enough as soon as this game finishes, make sure to stick around for the second match in this group in match day 4. That is Osaka, the 2008 Asian champions, in action against Shanghai United. From Thailand, who are back for the second successive year. Jeonbuk seen a lot of the ball, very comfortable on the ball. That's very much style of the Warriors. Under their boss Kim Sang-sik, who's been very open about his ambitions for them. Wants to play high pressing possession football, and is also targeting the treble this year. The 5th straight K-League 1 title, the 2nd straight FA Cup, and winning the AFC Champions League for the 3rd time in their history. It's not possible now because they're out of the cup. They lost 10-9 on a penalty shootout to struggling 3rd division side Yang Citizen in Korean Cup last 16 game back on the 26th of May, not far over a month ago. Can still get League and Champions League double though, which would be quite something, so plenty to play for. Vitovic looking for a bit of service. He's been feeding off scraps for a lot of this tournament. He's tended to be a bit of an isolated figure up front. Normally had 2 opposition centre-backs very closely marking him, and he's lacked support and runners from midfield. Mehmedovic goes crossfield for Bosniak. Bounces up off the hand of Armin Bosniak. It was the right idea from Mehmedovic, but he mishit the pass, and that lost the momentum and the space that at one point was available. Had to run a long way back to get there. Picks up off the top of his arm. Hanapi loses out, good tackle. He's passed forward though, and it ends up with Mehmedovic. Hanapi. Yachenko leading the press. Forced to go all the way back to Buhari. Jeonbuk looking to continue trend across meetings between North Korean sides and teams from Singapore in this competition. It's been 5 meetings, 5 wins for sides from the Korean Republic. 9-0 win 3 days ago, and then 4 wins for the Suwon Samsung Blue Wings against Warriors FC back in 2009 and 2010. Since those appearances for the Warriors, there hasn't been a Singaporean team this competition until Tampines this year, so it's a very proud moment for football from the region. Again, patient possession for Jeonbuk. all their excellent possession, they haven't really forced Sazwan Bahari into a good save yet. Jin Song can't quite get there. Has apparently kept it in somehow. Now it's out for the boot of Kim Bok-young. Jeonbuk looking to continue. Very good start. They've never avoided defeat in their first 4 games of an AFC Champions League campaign since 2013. So they've often struggled with slow starts. And they won 2 of their first 4 and drew the other 2. Be strong favourites to make it 3 wins from 4 today. Lappy just late in there. It's a bit of a terrier in midfield, but he's guilty of sometimes being a bit overly physical. Looks up his fair share of yellow cards, Yase Hanafi. Kim Sang-sik, who very ambitious man. He's talked very openly about wanting Jeonbuk to be one of the very best teams in Asia. And back to heights they've reached before. AFC Champions League winners in 2006 and 2016. The first team from East Asia to win it since the competition launched in its current format in 2003. They were also finalists in 2011, lost to Al Sadd from Qatar. So something about every 5 years it sees them get into an AFC Champions League final at the very least. So if you're suspicious in that regard, it would mean that this year would be one of a level of decent progression and success for them in this competition. Jin Song. Kunimoto gets it back. It's going to be one of the key players for Jeonbuk in trying to break this game open. Takahiro Kunimoto is good at identifying space in between the defence and the attack. Defended by Mark Ryan-Tan. He's just 19 years old. What a stage and an opportunity for him to make his mark. Born on the 18th of January 2002. That makes some of our senior viewers feel touch old. Yep, comfortably born on this side of the millennium by a distance to Lyachenko. And then a chance to hit it, blazed over. First real half sight of goal. Saw that Lyachenko header early on. Just on the shot. Powered in by Lee Song-yoon, but too much elevation on it. Buhari was worried. Saw that in the frantic nature of his dive. Medovic. Jeonbuk on a high press here. White shirt starting to flood forward. It was a theme in the first fixture between these two, and it's been a regular theme of Tampines Rovers campaign that they've often got caught out playing from the back. Tampines perennial challengers in the Singapore Premier League, runners up in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Benefited from its newly expanded continental showpiece of the AFC Champions League. 40 teams in for the first time from the group stage onwards. 20 in the East groups, 20 in the West groups. Kapitovic uses his body really well here. Has options. One of them is Mehmedovic, who goes for the cheeky flick. Kapitovic once more. Pardon me, it's Wozniak that time. It's given as a free kick. I wonder whether Wozniak might have a case here. They did seem to be a fair bit of pushing both ways round. Looked to me like a case of the classic 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Well, there is a... Well, no. It's his right arm just there. Wozniak pulls the back of the shirt. That's why I'm a football commentator rather than qualified referee. Difficult life for the man in the middle. A woman in the middle, but today it is Masoud Tafalia from Syria. He was spot on there. Jeonbuk. Just trying to find ways to stretch this Tampines defence. We've almost reached the midpoint of this first half without conceding. And that is a big improvement on 3 days ago. At this point they were already 3-0 down. Barrow scoring in the 5th minute, then Gustavo scoring 2 goals in 2 minutes in the 14th and 15th minute to pull them clear. From then it only got worse and worse. Kyung. Jin Song goes around the outside, brilliantly, and it needs the covering work from Nathan Najib to close out that run and concede the corner. Otherwise it could have been even worse. Got round the back of Mark Ryan-Tan. Lovely burrow forward down that left by Park Jin-song. Buhari organising his defence. Buhari comes out, doesn't get there, and gets lucky. Second corner in succession. Could have been the opening goal. Servan Shah at the back post, who was in the right place at the right time to bail his keeper out. Referee just dealing with some pushing and shirt pulling in the box. Giving a warning to both teams, in particular Tampines Rovers, I think. Decent ball in, and this time Buhari does do enough. It's a much more convincing punch. He'll feel much better for it to that previous flat from the first corner. Lyachenko offside. It's like Lyachenko, 30-year-old, who spent his playing days in Germany, where he became a naturalised citizen and moved to career in 2019. Pressed at the Prohang Steelers before joining Jeonbuk. Jeonbuk, who very much regular top dogs when it comes to league football in the Korea Republic, chasing a 5th straight league title. They've been K-League 1 winners in the last 4 straight seasons, in 6 of the last 7. Did a league and cup double last season. Kapitovic gets manhandled by Jun Chaeyon. That's the trouble Kapitovic has got as a lone striker. It seems like so often he's got 2 centre-halves to deal with. Crossfield ball cut out by Ryan Tan. Recycled by Sungi. Young. Sungi. Might be a chance on the counter. It's a 3-on-2 if they can work this quickly in their favour, Tampines. Hanapi, Bosniak. Still Bosniak onto his left. Forces a good save from Hwang Byung-gun just to tip it round that post. Would have preferred it on his right if possible, Bosniak, but felt like he had to go on his left, that the angle was better for that. Was probably sneaking in at that far post. It's as close as Tampines Rovers have come across 4 match days so far to getting their first ever AFC Champions League goal. Some encouragement for Akbar Nawaz in the dugout. And now Tampines have their first corner of the game. And Api's ball in. Kept alive by Kaiser. Nakamura. Jin Song. The ball over the top for Ilyachenko. Might opt to go himself. Instead is unselfish. Ko1. Still for Ko1. And now Ilyachenko off the post. So close, Jeonbuk. Just moments after Armin Bosniak forces a good save from Byung-gun at one end. Ilyachenko sets up Han Ko1, who had 2 bites at the cherry. Then it came back to Ilyachenko once more, who hit the post. Saswan Bahari has done himself a mischief in that frantic passage of play. So he's getting the necessary medical attention. Thankfully, Saswan Buhari does seem to be okay. Backup goalkeeper Hamid Zulfaruz Rudi was doing some very frantic warm-ups on the touchline, thinking he might be needed, but not on this occasion. Rantan. Kapitovic. It's good link play from Boris Kapitovic. Mark Rantan. Decent ball in for Kapitovic, who misses it. It wasn't an easy one for him to execute, number 9, because he had to try and hold off the defender at the same time. Striker from Serbia and Montenegro just starting to put himself about a bit more. That's making Tampines click better. Nakamura's going to hit one. And he's going to blast it just over. Half-hour mark gone. Tampines just growing in confidence here. I think the fact that they've managed to get to this point without conceding has just allowed them to a sense of self-belief, which is reflecting into maybe not fearing their opponents so much, standing off them. were perhaps guilty of times paying Jeonbuk a bit too much respect in that 9-0 defeat. Certainly the feeling from just myself, but quite a few observers of that one. Kunimoto wins the corner. Sure, Jeonbuk would love to win this game without needing Gustavo or Modubaro. They're two-star forwards off the bench. Need to find a breakthrough against Tampines, who defeated 12 games in their first 3 AFC Champions League matches. Kunimoto with the outswinger. Only half away. Songyun. Made by Shah. Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors looking to continue their good form in this competition. 4 wins and just 1 defeat in their last 6 matches at continental level. Coming after their longest ever winless run in the AFC Champions League. 6 games in a row where they didn't taste victory. 4 draws and 2 losses. Mark Rantan squares it back, almost fell for Kapitovic. It ran for Bosniak. They really are suddenly finding pockets of space on the counter-attack, Tampines, in a way that they never did in the first match 3 days ago, and they certainly didn't in the first 20 minutes or so here. Suddenly just sprung into life a bit. Jeonbuk have got to find a response, both tactically and also just in terms of matching the physical effort to break forward. Tampines are really suddenly getting midfield players around Kapitovic up front. And one of those is Hanapi. This time runs into trouble. Followed by Sungi. That's a great ball. Kunimoto clips one up for Ilyachenko. Just wide. And a foul wasn't given. So, had Ilyachenko managed to score this, it would have stood. Just clipped up by Kunimoto. There arriving was Ilyachenko. Thought it maybe came off his arm as well. Now this is a surprise. It's a very early substitution. Don't believe this is an injury either. It's Gustavo coming on. Great player to bring on. He scored 4 goals against this very opposition just 3 days ago. Kim Bok-young is taken off. Seems to be a possible tactical reorganisation, because Bok-young is more of a midfield player or an attacking midfielder, where he's been used today. I wonder whether Gustavo and Ilyachenko are playing up front together. Find out in good time. Not too long, it'll become very clear. It did very much seem to be a tactical change, though, more than anything else. Jin-sung hangs one up, and that's gone in. Well, all the luck going the way of Stanislav Ilyachenko, who grabs his 3rd AFC Champions League goal and continues to impress in his maiden campaign on the continental stage. He's already had a couple of half chances. Lovely ball in from the left, where Park Jin-sung's been finding space all day. But this is one where really might as well go out and buy a lottery ticket after this, Stanislav Ilyachenko, because he'll probably win that too. He heads the ball against by Haki Kaizan, comes back off Kaizan, hits Ilyachenko again, goes over Bahari and goes in. Nothing the keeper or the defence could really do. Credit to Ilyachenko, though. He did win the first header. Say you earn your own luck. He probably did so there. Do have to feel a bit for Tampines Rovers, though. In their 4th match in this competition, that's the 13th goal they've conceded, but we're just starting to grow into the game, starting to threaten on the counter-attack as well and pose some real problems. Horrible deflection of Kaizen. And back onto Ilyachenko, perfect for the striker. He can claim it, no doubt. It's his goal. Well, when you're struggling in football, sometimes the luck really doesn't go with you, and you have to feel for Tampines. Pointless and goalless. Now they've got to try and fight their way back here. Must be really dispiriting. You can see a goal like that, and the body language certainly told you as much. It's going to be a real mental test for Tampines now. While Tampines doing the right thing, well, it's a cliche but very vulnerable when you've just scored, just conceded in particular. It can be vulnerable to complacency when you've just scored, but just conceded, you're a bit shook, and the confidence would have been low anyway coming into this game, but just absorbed some pressure and won that free kick. Just give them some time to regroup. They can get to half-time at least 1-0 down. That means they're still in the contest. We were 4-0 down 3 days ago, and it was very much game over. Gustavo not happy with the referee and Mehmedovic. He's just being calmed down a bit now. This is why. Well, they both had a real go at each other, didn't they? It's Gustavo who started it. It's a shot which bounced up awkwardly. Harry not able to move it confidently. Ball in. It wasn't a bad one towards Hanapi. Again, only one player in the box. That's the problem for Koshniak when trying to get the cross in. Hasn't got a whole lot of bodies to aim for. That's been a real pattern throughout Tampines' 4 AFC Champions League games so far. He's just trying to press a bit higher up the pitch, but Jeonbuk have got the class to play their way out relatively easily. Another good ball in from this left-hand side. Jin Song, whose cross led to the first goal. Mostly guarded by Irfan Najib, who hit the post for Tampines Rovers earlier on in this tournament. Came close as anyone has in a Tampines shirt to scoring in the AFC Champions League. It's Jin-sung. Petrovic links the play, Miledovic. Najib forced back to his keeper. And the white shirts so high up the pitch, eagerly awaiting one mistake from Tampines. Najib. Would be a real upset if Tampines can get anything from this game. Responded well to conceding that very unfortunate deflected headed goal for Stanislav Ilyachenko. Lovely cute chip over the top to release Bosniak, who's still going. Just gets hustled out of it after a loose touch. That's promising signs. It's a definite improvement from Tampines from 3 days ago. There's no doubt about that. They look almost a completely different team. A bit more solid defensively, bring the bit of counter-attacking threat too. Of course, when you've conceded the biggest defeat in the competition's history across the last decade, things in a sense can almost only go up from there. Jeonbuk, Kunimoto gets the 1-2, almost got him behind. Good defence from Mark Ryan-Tan, but pass was loose. So, stunning tackle by Irvine Sharp. Nothing given either way by the Syrian referee. So, for the year, assisted today by a local pair, Timur Gernulin and Andrei Saspenko, both from Uzbekistan, and then Yumin Sun from Chinese Taipei is our fourth official. Sharp. He boxed in there. Didn't really know what to do with it. Ended up clearing it straight out. Rovers trying to get out of their own half and create something. Had more shots on target without scoring a goal than any other team in this year's AFC Champions League group stages in the East. Created 18 goal-scoring chances and they've had 8 shots on target so far, including in this game. Bosniak forcing a good save from Hwang Byung-gun at 0-0. It's not like Tampines have been sort of unable to create opportunities at all in their 3.5 games so far in the AFC Champions League. It's definitely been a steep learning curve. The Stags, being their animal mascot, being a symbol of wisdom, the antlers associated with the tree of life. In Chinese culture, it's also a symbol of virility. Jin-sung's ball in towards Gustavo, who heads it over. 4 goals against Tampines 3 days ago. Not able to pick up his first tonight there. It's a great ball in by Jin-sung, similar to the ball in that Ilyachenko headed in for the only goal of the game so far. Gustavo becoming the 14th player to score 4 goals in a single AFC Champions League game. 9-0 win. 7th Brazilian to do so. Which is plenty of fantastic Brazilian footballers who we love watching in this part of the world, and he's definitely one of them. Ryan Tan. That was a bit awkward for Hwang Byung-gun. See Hanapi trying to make a nuisance of himself. Just into the keeper. 1 minute added on at the end of this first half is up, so that is that for half-time here at the Jeonbuk Stadium. Well, it's a much better showing from Tampines Rovers this time around. Stanislav Ilyachenko's goal separates the teams. An awkward deflection off by Haki Kaizan back onto the head of Ilyachenko and looping in. So all the fortune going the way of Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, as things tend to do when you're top of the group as opposed to bottom. Tampines Rovers promising and improved, but still behind. At the break here at Jeonbuk Stadium, it's Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors 1, Tampines Rovers 0.
Spor Bolotepe'ye transfer etmiş bak. Ne yapacak? Demiş ki, o dedi, Adanalı dedi, biz de dedi izlemiş. Adana dedi. Yok be. Evet. Ha işte bak. Balıkçı'nın Adana Demirspor. Evet. Left. Vay vay. Vay. Vay good. Wow. Hey, hey! Hey! Hey, hey! Hey! Referee! Hey, hey! Hey! Referee! Hey, hey! Hey! Referee! Hey, hey! Hey! Referee! Oh, wait! Oh, wait! Oh, wait! Oh, wait! Gel sallamıyorsan. Yok. Yatarıyor.
Welcome back to the Jeonbuk Stadium in Tashkent. This is the second half of the first match of 2 in match day 4 across Group H of this AFC Champions League. Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors defeated Tampines Rovers 9-0 3 days ago when these sides met. 4 goals for Gustavo and a hat-trick for Modibaro as well in that one. But it's been a very different game today against a much changed and rotated Jeonbuk side. Tampines Rovers in all yellow have put in a much better account of themselves. They had some good counter-attacking chances in the first half. Armin Bosniak nearly gave them the lead. And then Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, 10 minutes before the break, did get the advantage themselves. Stanislav Ilyachenko scoring his 3rd goal of this AFC Champions League group stage campaign. A very lucky one though in truth. Scoring it courtesy of a headed deflection coming back off by Haki Kaizan and looping into the net. So they remain pointless and goalless and in all yellow. Tampines Rovers showing signs of promise. That's for Jeonbuk. Got one of their stars, Modibaro, off the bench and on. They brought Gustavo on just before the break. And that is something of a compliment to Tampines. I'm sure they might have preferred to give Barrow a rest on the substitutes bench today. Instead, on comes Modibaro. He will be really, really tricky to deal with. Having him up there with Ilyachenko and Gustavo, it's going to cause some problems for Akbar Nawaz's side. So Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors looking for a win to take them to 10 points from 4 games in the group so far. Help consolidate their position in top spot. Of course, finishing top of any of these AFC Champions League groups is the only way to guarantee passage through to the round of 16. And 3 of the 5 best second place teams from across these East groups will also go through. Tampines Rovers still chasing their first AFC Champions League point or goal. Bosniak has a bit of space out here, will want it on his right foot if possible. As well to win it back, Bosniak. Tees it up for Nakamura! Oh, so close. Oh, it does make the net bulge, but off the wrong side of things as far as Tampines Rovers are concerned. Hit this really nicely. And I must confess, for half a second it fooled me as well. Lovely strike from Kyoga Nakamura. Promising signs though for Tampines, showing they're a long way from done in this game. Chenko fighting for it, he's gone down. his lower back and his chest as well, Stanislav Yurchenko. Here's why. It's Najib sort of turning his head away and backing into him as the ball was there to be challenged for. Double change from Sang-Sik Kim at half-time. Han Ko-won had a good chance in the first half. He's now made 2 of his changes. And there's Modu Barrow and Lee Yong who've come on. Lee Yong, a straight swap for Han Ko-won at fullback. Modu Barrow, of course, much further up the pitch. Bosniak has space. Change the shot straight into the closing defence. Great crossfield ball by Kunimoto. Does reach Barrett, his first touch since coming on. Here goes Barrow. Might score with his very first run. Instead tries to set up Ilyachenko unselfishly. Doesn't quite work out. Kunimoto. The cross from Lee Yong. It's a real teaser. Gets through to Barrow. Brings the corner off the corner flag. Sungi. Barrow. Short corner routine. Sungi again. It's been massively overhit and wastes the set piece chance. Shot comes across to take the throw. Tampines Rovers, I'm sure of being watched very closely, possibly watching our coverage. They are hello to by the Yellow Brigade and the Yellow Knights, the 2 big supporters groups whose field initiatives have really helped to bring the community and the team closer together. Really helped to pick up attendances before the pandemic. They were averaging around 2,000 fans at their home games, the best in their league. Always got their eye out for big domestic fixture against their key rivals, Geylang International in the Eastern Derby. Domestically, they're going pretty well. They're part of a 4-way title battle. 4th right now, top scorers in the league, but a very leaky defence with 21 points from 12 games. Suffered a damaging defeat in their last game before they came into this run of AFC Champions League matches. First loss in 6, a 3-2 home defeat against Hougang United. So here goes Kunimoto, and shot down by Mehmedovic. That could well be a yellow card. And it's so close to the penalty area and the nature of the attack. Yep, it will be. Can't really complain about that. Zeradin Mehmedovic, even though he tries to. But that was a challenge more befitting of a rugby field, really, in truth. I'm not really sure how he can be complaining very much there. Zeradin Mehmedovic, who's a talented playmaker, but hasn't really seen much of the game tonight. A lot of it's passed him by. So 4 in the wall, left foot and right-footed options in this Jeonbuk side. They've set themselves to go with Lee Seung-gi, curling it right-footed around the wall. That does make probably more sense from this angle. Makes it harder for the goalkeeper to save because the ball curves from being outside of the post to into the net, as opposed to the left footer, which of course is the other way around. It could be the left foot of Kunimoto. Trying to cause some mischief with a fake wall. Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. So it could be Kunimoto on his left, or Seung-gi on his right. It's Seung-gi, and it's straight at Sazwan Buhari. Will be mightily relieved, and the longer this goes on, still at 1-0. Counter-attack from Tampines Rovers, who carried a threat in that sense today, and it's been important for getting them a foothold in the game. Bosniak. It's a bit of a nothing ball in, easily gathered by Byung-gun, who made a good save to deny Bosniak in the 25th minute at 0-0. Little ball forward. Kunimoto gets it back. 10 minutes into this second half. So hunting a second goal, Jeonbuk. That's why they've put Modibaro on at half-time. There's a first yellow card of the game for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, and understandably so. It's rash and late. On Fazrul Nawaz, who has just come on. Another good chance for Tampines going forward. Kapitovic this time. They really are making things happen on the counter-attack here. They're still right in this game, Tampines. Huge credit to them. Given what happened just 3 days ago. The veteran 43-year-old defender Daniel Bennett ready to come on. He is a second substitution for Tampines. Afan Najib coming off. In comes Bennett. And the chance for Kapitovic. That's easily the best chance he's had in this entire competition. And he couldn't believe he missed it. He had a bit more time than he actually thought he did. That's late, and it's all starting to get a bit physical here. Tampines captain Yasser Hanapi at the centre of it, and now players running in from all over the pitch to get involved. It's turning into a bit of a mess. Well, Syrian referee Masoud Tupalia keeps blowing his whistle. It doesn't seem to be changing a huge amount in truth. He kept blowing his whistle, but the pushing and shoving kept going on. So it's going to be yellow cards all round. Yellow to Yase Hanapi. Yellow as well to Takahiro Kunimoto. I want to be careful as well, because those can mount up into suspensions in the later part of the group stages. Goal kick off Barrow. Another substitution coming. This time coming on is Park Sun-ho facing Lee Seung-gi. Straight swap in defensive midfield. That is late and rash, and Yase Hanapi is already on a yellow, and 2 yellows means red. Well, he can have no complaints here. He's really lost his cool here, the Tampines Rovers captain, and that is just what they didn't need. They had a foothold in the game. They were threatening to get an equaliser on the counter-attack frequently, and he just left the referee no choice. Had to be sent off for that. 2 yellow cards in a matter of as many minutes. The first yellow card in the 57th, and then a couple of minutes later he's now walking off. That really could prove pivotal. So Yase Hanapi sent off. And we do get referees sometimes reluctant to brandish the red card. But in a way, Yase Hanapi made the referee's decision easy. Such an obvious yellow card challenge. Excellent ball out from the back by Buhari. Never made it from Shah to Bosniak. It'll be interesting to see how Tampines Rovers cope with 10. They were often sitting very deep defensively anyway when they had 11. And Happy was the one player who was getting forward and offering a bit of support, along with Nemedovic and Bosniak to lone striker Kvitovic, but it was Hanapi who was doing that role best. Bosniak gets past a couple of challenges. Kapitovic is there. Oh, what a ball that is for Kapitovic. Just maybe a yard too much on it. Keeps it alive though. Nemedovic. Space out on the right for Saniza. Little clip ball forwards looking for Nawaz. It never made it there. It'll be interesting to see what changes also come from the Tampines Rovers bench following that sending off. They've already used 2 of their substitutions. Mark Rantan and Ethan Najib replaced by Faisal Nawaz and Daniel Bennett. Jeonbuk have used 4 of their 5 available changes. So I'd be surprised if Jeonbuk made another change, because that would leave them vulnerable to knowing that were injury to strike one of their players, they would be down to 10. Overlapping run by Yi Yong, and what a good goal for Gustavo. Nicely worked down the right. All about the assist from Lee Yong. Really smart teamwork this from Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. And that might well be enough to seal the win. Good cross by Young, and Gustavo, who got 4 against Tampines 3 days ago, has 1 against them tonight. With it now 2-0. And that sending off of Hanapi, that could be terminal. But Tampines hopes of getting anything from this one. Really nicely worked goal. And Gustavo adds to his growing tally. Scored a penalty in the 2-1 win against Shanghai United on match day 1. For the first meeting against Tampines, so that's now his 6th of this campaign. Medovic forward. It's a good ball for Kapitovic. He decides to blast one. He would have done really well to score from there. You do fear that Tampines now down to 10, 2-0 down. Comes Gustavo, just nicked off him by Shah. Corner ball. Clipped up, very unconvincing from Buhari. Tampines scramble it away, and scramble really is the operative word. Doesn't quite drop for the shot. Lee Young got the assist for the second, finds Gustavo again, nods it on to Barrow. That's a great ball in towards Ilyachenko, who for once doesn't give him his best effort with his head. So that's an awkward one and nearly an own goal by Haki Kaizan. Ends up just turning it round the post. Corner from Kunimoto. It's badly overhit. Want to keep it alive, Jeonbuk. We are into the last quarter of this game. Tampines Rovers' bravery and improvement on their performance from 3 days ago in that 9-0 defeat. It does look like it's set for a similar outcome in terms of the result of the game. That's smashed over by Chae-Young-jun. The Barrows' run came to nothing. Just got underneath it. Tampines hunting an unlikely route back. Also the pride of a first ever AFC Champions League goal. Kapitovic, Mehmedovic, just ran out of room. As we head into the last 20 minutes of one of the most successful clubs in Singaporean football, meeting against a Warriors side, dominant team in Korean football, just proving a bit too strong thus far. Starfo with animated celebration for our cameras. Someone that is a bit of a fan favourite, and you can see why in the way he plays the game. Enthusiasm, his energy, as well as, of course, his undoubted ability. He's on a little bit of a goal drought this season, only had 5 in 14 domestically coming into this tournament. He's got 6 in 4 games here now. Barrow will step for the shimmy, thinks of shooting, goes for the cross instead. Kept alive, and Ilyachenko gets it wrong. Difficult technical skill to execute. It's laid up on a plate for him, and if anyone's got the talent to smash it in on the volley from there, it's Stanislav Ilyachenko. Just got the connection wrong. But more promising stuff for Hyundai Motors, who are starting to really take control of this game now, with Tampines down to 10. Yassi Hanapi was sent off for 2 bookable offences, both happening within 2 minutes of each other. Smash clear, trying to get underneath it here, Kapitovic. And the Ilyachenko. Good physicality from Jeonbuk to win it back. Lee Young. Young-jun. Kunimoto. Motor clips it in. Surely number 3. No, off the post twice. And finally in by Barrow. Jeonbuk finally score. Well, they had quite a few goes at this, and between them, they eventually got there. The substitute Modu Barrow makes it 3-0. Got a hat-trick against Tampines 3 days ago, and he's haunting them once more. Amaru Haikal ready to come on for Tampines. I'm sure we can get a look as well at that extraordinary goalmouth scramble. He was the goalmouth scramble of all goalmouth scrambles. So initially, cross was put in by Young-jun. Kunimoto whipped it in. And Gustavo hit the bar. And eventually Barrow did the job. Modu Barrow, a name that many, particularly our European viewers or viewers who know football in Europe pretty well, will be familiar with. As Gustavo sets it back, could be number 4. Shot from Pak Sung-ho blocked. They look a bit rugged now, Tampines. They look kind of like they're in survival mode, and you can't really blame them. Overrun a bit, and sending off of Hanapi probably killed them. They were just getting a foothold in the game, despite being 1-0 down. They were offering a threat, and since Hanapi's sending off, it's really fallen apart a touch. Oh, what a goal that is! Ilyachenko, top corner, outstanding. 4-0 Jeonbuk, his 2nd of the game, and his 4th of this AFC Champions League. You don't save those. Pak Sung-ho firing it into the feet of Mehmedovic, who blocked the initial effort. And that is a genuine stunner from Stanislav Ilyachenko. That's why he's such a fan favourite for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. And they've got the Russian and then the Brazilian Gustavo and the Korea Republic star Kim Sung-dae all firing. It's quite an attacking trio they have. Put Modu Barrow into the mix as well. It's no wonder that Kim Sang-sik, their coach, has said that he wants to score a minimum of 2 goals per game on average across this season. Pretty much has a bit of a we'll score 1 more than you type philosophy. They're a very entertaining side to watch, Jeonbuk. So 2 goals in as many minutes. Modu Barrow making it 3-0. Now Modu Barrow might be about to make it 5, not quite. Ilyachenko making it 4-0 as this match enters its last quarter of an hour. Kapitovic very isolated on the break. Yellow shirts finally belatedly arriving. Mehmedovic. Total miscue, and Tampines will have a corner. Still plenty to play for Tampines in particular. Never scored an AFC Champions League goal. They've got a chance to do that here. Floated towards that back post and over everybody. The set piece well and truly wasted. Inside from Sung-ho, Yoon-jun, Barrow. Definitely been much more competitive in this game than they were in that 9-0 defeat, but could get a bit messy now for Tampines as Ilyachenko nearly makes it 5. Remember in that 9-0 game, they were 3-0 down after 15 minutes. In a very different type of game today. They have genuinely threatened Tampines. It does seem like it's sort of hinged on that sending off of Hanapi. Boris Kapitovic comes off. It is an opportunity for Huzaifa Aziz. Aziz, who has not been a regular starter in their league campaign, pretty much a squad player in this AFC Champions League set up for them. 26-year-old Singaporean midfielder. Barrow goes a long way round. Daniel Bennett was there. Nakamura can't find Mehmedovic. Cleaned up by Ilyachenko into the last 10 minutes of this one. Does seem to be, at this point, a question of how many more can Jeonbuk get. Still very committed out there, Tampines. That's good pressing high up the pitch, good aggressive pressing. Maybe in the end a touch too aggressive from Amiral Hagal, the substitute. Barrow. Young. Sit back. It's a great ball forward for Gustavo, who can't quite take it down. The flag was up anyway, though, so it wouldn't have counted. No video assistant referee to refer to. In case you missed it, in the flurry of substitutions as well, Jeonbuk, the centre-half from Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, replaced by No Yeon Sang, the very promising defender. Time to give someone like him an opportunity. And Sang, who turned 19 in March. Barrow. Assuming things stay as they are, Jeonbuk will go 5 points clear at the top of this group with 10 points from 4 games. Tampines will have no points from their 4 games and no goals scored and 16 conceded. Looks like it's shaping up to be battle for second between Gambro Osaka and Shanghai United. Kunimoto keeps it alive. But after coverage of this game finishes, pretty much as soon as this match finishes, Shanghai United, Gamba Osaka will be kicking off. Thailand versus Japan in that one, in terms of teams represented. This match in front of us was a 7 p.m. local time kickoff, and that one's 9 p.m. local time start. Osaka with 5 points from 3 games, Shanghai United with 4 from 3, so it's going to be a really important matchup. The first game between the two teams, a 1-1 draw 3 days ago. So that's late from Nyachenko. There's a clumsy forwards tackle, similar to the kind of tackle that Hanapi put in that got Hanapi the second yellow card. It's quite lucky that he's avoided a booking for that foul on Huzaifa Aziz. Nice touch from Aziz. Nakamura needs support. Approaching the last 5 minutes plus stoppages of this one. Jeonbuk hunting more goals. I'm sure the man on the ball, Stanislav Ilyachenko's hunting his hat-trick like any good striker. He certainly is a good one. Barrett gets it back, Modi Barrett, the 28-year-old. Looks for that ball in behind from Ilyachenko. It nearly works. Barrow, a name that many across European football I mentioned earlier would know, had 3 seasons at Swansea City after playing his youth football in Sweden. We see our NCL facts presented by Nirman, latest of which is Janovic's 40 goals, making him the highest scorer in AFC Champions League history. Coming back to Modi Barrett. Moving from Östersunds to Swansea City, 3 seasons there, loan spells at Nottingham Forest, Blackburn Rovers and Leeds United, and 3 seasons with Reading as well. And to Denizspor before joining Jeonbuk last year. A valuable addition to their attacking riches, which have helped them to 4 consecutive league titles and a League and Cup double last season. Club who founded in 1994 is Jeonbuk Dinos. The colour green, which is also the colour of Jeolla province. Chasing what would be a 3rd AFC Champions League title. Chasing more goals here as well. Gustavo Ilyachenko, chance for his hat-trick, instead is unselfish. Gustavo just blocked at the last moments by the veteran defender Daniel Bennett. So many strikers here, with 2 already in the bag, would have thought to shoot, but Ilyachenko was not of that mindset at all. Tried to hand Gustavo an easier opportunity, didn't quite work out. Set piece chance. Lyon already has an assist. Get another chance after Amiral Haikal puts it out for a 2nd consecutive corner. Young's corner once more. Headed straight at Sazwan Buhari. The difficult time of things in goal for Tampines Rovers. Conceded 16 goals in 4 games. So say for Aziz is fouled. Nakamura, good at making pockets of space. He did so there. Ball forward wasn't quite what was needed for Amrul Haikal. Right idea. It's up next for these two. Match day 5, which is on Wednesday. In the first game of the day, Kickoff Osaka will play Tampines Rovers. As Tampines try and get their first goal and/or point. In the later game, Chiang Rai United from Thailand play Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, who, pardon the pun, really are starting to motor here. The best start to an AFC Champions League campaign in 8 seasons now, with this result that's about to be confirmed. 13 points from 4 games. Pardon me, 10 points from 4 games. They'll be on to 13 points from 5 games if they can win that one against Chiang Rai United, is what I meant to say. Barrow. Yoongjun. Touch around the corner for Ilyachenko. Barrow once more. Kick his way through. Gustavo loses out, no foul. Just about to head into stoppage time at the end of this game that has seen an improved performance from Tampines Rovers, but similar result in terms of an eventual heavy defeat. They did nearly lead midway through the first half. I mean, Bojnak well denied by Hwang Byung-gun. And straight up the other end, Ilyachenko almost scored with a header, and then eventually did so 10 minutes before half-time, albeit through a lucky deflection off by Haki Kaizan back onto Ilyachenko's head and into the net. Lee Young's cross. Gustavo tries the spectacular. And why not when you're 4-0 up in stoppage time? Minimum of 3 minutes added on. Jeonbuk leading 1-0 at the break. Tampines Rovers had some success on the counter-attack in the second half and were causing problems. Then Yasser Hanafi sent off 2 yellow cards in as many minutes. Sent off almost exactly on the hour mark, and from then on it's been really one-way traffic. 4 minutes later, Gustavo made it 2-0. And then 10 minutes after that, Modi Barrow made it 3. And Ilyachenko popped up with his second with a quarter of an hour to go. That's the third goal. Well, they are a bit of a striking triumvirate. It's not often that they work like that. Ilyachenko hitting the post, bar I should say. Gustavo hitting the very same bar. And Barrow bouncing it off the ground and in for third goal of the evening. Barrow's 4th of this campaign after a hat-trick when these sides first met. Group will conclude on match day 6 next Saturday, when Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors face Kickoff Osaka. Jeonbuk will hope that the top spot in the group is already secured by then, which it could well be. Tampines finish off their campaign against Chiang Rai United. They lost 1-0 to in match day 2. 87th minute goal from Setratia Chakul, really hurting Tampines, who dominated that game. And say that the return fixture against Chiang Rai probably looks like their best chance to get themselves their first ever AFC Champions League win. Now still yet to even score a goal in this competition. Finding out life is really difficult at this level. They'll be learning a lot from the experience though. Have to cope about their captain Yasser Hanafi now, who will pick up suspension for that red card. It's time for Jeonbuk to nick one more goal. Scored 13 across these 2 fixtures against Tampines. Well, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors have to settle for 4. It's not quite the 9 that they managed when these sides met 3 days ago, but it still ended up being a pretty comprehensive victory ultimately. They led in the 36th minute through a bit of fortune. Stanislav Ilyachenko's header deflecting off by Haki Kaizan back onto Ilyachenko and into the net. In the second half, Tampines Rovers really did show some promise on the counter-attack, but Yassir Hanafi was sent off on the hour mark for a second bookable offence. And from then on, Jeonbuk took the momentum and ran with it. Gustavo making it 2-0. Modu Barrow off the bench scored the third. And then Ilyachenko grabbed his second, and Jeonbuk's fourth soon afterwards. It's a big win for Jeonbuk. Takes them onto 10 points from 4 games. Meanwhile, Tampines Rovers remain goalless and pointless in this their maiden AFC Champions League campaign. Remember that the second match tonight in this group, Shanghai United from Thailand against Gamba Osaka from Japan, is starting very shortly. But for now, here at the Jeonbuk Stadium, thank you for joining us wherever you've been across the globe. It's finished here. Tampines Rovers 0, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors 4.